This is KVUE News Daybreak.
There was absolutely no doubt in my mind that he did it.
Possible new suspect in the Greg Kelly case. After nearly 3 years in prison, a former football star sexual assault conviction could be overturned. Why officials are reopening the case and the new person of interest.
And the president's son-in-law is now the focus of a new FBI investigation. This morning, why officials are preparing to interview him.
And are you heading to the beach this weekend? The growing concern brewing along Texas beaches. Good Friday morning, and thank you for joining us for Daybreak. It is 6 a.m., and I'm Brian Mays.
I'm Yvonne Nava. Let's take a look at our forecast. It's a long weekend for some people. What are we going to be dealing with out there?
Well, we're going to have a little bit of everything in terms of what Central Texas deals with this time of the year. This morning, slightly breezy out there, but of course, it's humid, extra sticky compared to the last couple of days. Dew points in the 70s and temperatures right now in the mid to upper 70s. You're really feeling the warm up today compared to yesterday. Check out your dew points. 70s across the entire area. If not, you're near that. Georgetown at 68 degrees. So the big issue is going to be our heat index value, which is the feel-like temperature, because of the fact that it's so humid, and our forecasted highs are in the 90s today. So this morning, this is what it feels like. We're in the upper 70s. Any lunchtime plans, it's already going to feel like we're in the lower 90s out there. If you have any of those outdoor lunch plans today. Now this afternoon, this is when things are going to get dangerous. It's going to feel like we're close to 104, 105 degrees this afternoon. Quite dangerous. You want to stay cool and hydrated. We're talking feel like temperatures in the triple digits across the board throughout the entire viewing area. That's not only the case today, also tomorrow we're talking rain shower chances arriving by Sunday into Monday. I'll get in more details on the rain in the full forecast. As for now, let's take a look at traffic this morning for the few of you guys that have to work. It doesn't look too bad out there. At least I don't think we should have too much in terms of traffic compared to other days today. So traffic's flowing nicely. It's currently 6:01 a.m. when we have lots of green right now on our graphics popping up. So no major accidents to report on from 45 to downtown this morning. About a 15-minute commute, give or take a couple of minutes, 4 minutes from 2222 to Cesar Chavez. And also drive times are looking nice if you're traveling to the airport this morning. Only 9 minutes from 130 to I-35. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you so much. We are following breaking news this morning out of Egypt. According to Egyptian state TV, gunmen have opened fire on a bus, killing at least 23 people and wounding more than 24. The bus was carrying Coptic Christians south of Cairo. The bus was attacked while it was traveling to monastery, which is a community of monks living under religious vows. And so far, no group has claimed responsibility for the attack as of this morning. But some breaking news out of Egypt.
After spending nearly 3 years in prison, a former Leander High School student accused of sexual assault, convicted of sexual assault of a child, that conviction could be overturned.
22-year-old Greg Kelly is serving a 25-year prison sentence near Huntsville. A Williamson County jury convicted him back in 2014 after a 4-year-old boy accused Kelly of molesting him. But a new revelation begins to possibly pave the way for Kelly to possibly be released from prison.
The new suspect named in new court documents unsealed yesterday afternoon, Greg Kelly's former friend and football teammate Jonathan McCarty. Court documents prepared by Kelly's defense say McCarty told someone at a party after Kelly was convicted that he, in fact, was the one who molested the child, not Greg Kelly. KVUE sat down with Greg Kelly's mom and close friends shortly after they heard this shocking news yesterday. KVUE's Christy Millward in our newsroom this morning. And Christy, they say they're not mad.
Well, Brian, Kelly's mom and close family friends say they're relieved that this day that they've waited for so long has finally come. They say they've never questioned his innocence, and now they feel they're one step closer to justice. They tell KVUE Greg Kelly is a man of faith and refused to point fingers at anyone else since he says he did not witness the assault. But a close family friend tells KVUE they were suspicious of Kelly's friend from the start. With these new documents, they feel like they're one step closer to bringing Kelly home.
It was a sigh of relief, but it was like finally. I just want everyone, all we want is the truth. All we've ever wanted is the truth and justice, and we want everything transparent, and we have nothing to hide. Our story's always going to be the same. Greg's story's always going to be the same, and it was just a feeling of just relief.
Kelly's mom, Rosa, says the past 3 years without him have been difficult. She says, quote, "I just want to hug my boy and feel his heart beating into my heart." She also says she was inspired by all those who have been fighting for her son. Now, coming up in less than 30 minutes, hear from Kelly's longtime girlfriend who has stuck by his side through all of this. Live in the newsroom, Christy Millward, KVUE News.
Well, a newly unsealed court document says that cell phone technology shows Greg Kelly was not living in the house with Jonathan McCarty, whose mother operated an in-home daycare center at the time of the crime. It also says that McCarty had images of naked young children on his computer and phone. McCarty is in jail this morning on unrelated drug charges. He has not been arrested or charged in the sexual assault case. A Williamson County judge has set a hearing for Kelly the first week of August. She will then decide whether he could be released from prison on bond.
Developing this morning, Jared Kushner, President Donald Trump's son-in-law and senior White House advisor, is among a number of White House staffers who are likely to be interviewed by the FBI because of their interactions with former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. ABC's Lana Zach explains how Kushner's attorneys are responding to the investigation.
As President Trump's son-in-law and senior advisor, Jared Kushner has been by the president's side. And now sources tell ABC News Kushner is among a number of White House staffers and former Trump campaign officials who are likely to be interviewed by the FBI in connection with the Russia investigation, though he's not a target and has not been accused of committing a crime. Kushner's lawyer said the first son-in-law would cooperate, writing in a statement, "Mr. Kushner previously volunteered to share with Congress what he knows about these meetings. He will do the same if he's contacted in connection with any other inquiry." Of particular interest to investigators is a transition meeting with Russian Ambassador Kislyak and a separate meeting with a Russian financial executive. Meanwhile, the first international tour for President Trump continues in Europe today, after a couple of less than diplomatic moments made international headlines.
23 of the 28 member nations are still not paying what they should be paying and what they are supposed to be paying for their defense. This is not fair to the people and taxpayers of the United States.
The president lecturing NATO members while they looked on stone-faced and appearing to push aside the Prime Minister of Montenegro to get in front for a photo op.
And while the president publicly scolded those European leaders for their payments, what he didn't say may be even more concerning to the members of NATO, not reinforcing the mutual defense pledge. Lana Zach, ABC News, Washington.
Austin police need your help this morning finding a driver involved in a hit and run in the downtown area. Officers say it happened on May 16th on East 6th Street. They say the driver hit a pedestrian and then took off. The victim is doing okay this morning. The driver was behind the wheel of a white or silver sedan, which possibly had an out-of-town state license plate with the number PN1BOD. Now, if you have any information, call the police. Today, Mayor Steve Adler is expected to speak at a forum addressing pressing issues in the African-American community. Now, the State of Black Austin Forum allows Austinites to openly discuss topics surrounding criminal justice reform, economic empowerment, gentrification, and much more. It'll take place at the Greater Mount Zion Baptist Church at 6:30 p.m. The address is right here on your screen.
6:08 now, and police across several central Texas cities, including Austin and San Marcos, continuing their efforts to keep drunk drivers off the road. Starting today, officers will be on the lookout for drunk drivers, part of the department's No Refusal initiative. During no refusal periods, officers get a warrant to draw a blood sample from any suspected drunk driver who refuses a breath test. No Refusal runs today through June the 12th, 9 p.m. until 5 a.m. Of course, here at KVUE, we'd like to remind you, Drive Alive Austin. Don't drink and drive. You can head to our website, KVUE.com, to help you find a safe ride home.
So who doesn't love a vacation at the beach? But there's growing concern about a bacteria brewing along Texas beaches. With peak beach season on the horizon, there's reason for you to be concerned if you head to Galveston Beach, because you might see a county health worker or two scooping up beach water. Well, they're checking for a bacteria called Enterococcus. I hope I got that right. It's commonly found in rainwater runoff and typically occurs after periods of heavy rain. If levels are high, beaches won't close, but signs will be posted like this. Now, if you see one of these, you may want to avoid the water if you have a weakened immune system or an open cut or scrape. And now let's take a look at our forecast with Erica Lopez.
As a matter of fact, Yvonne and Brian came in ready for the beach here today.
I look hot in that beach.
Yeah.
I need to quit skipping leg day.
Tell us your secret. Love the floaties, too. So adorable. Hey, they're ready for the beach because it's going to be a warm one, 94 degrees, partly sunny. But the reason why it's going to feel extra warm out there is because it's going to be so humid. Heat index values today feel like temperatures will be in the triple digits. So it's a day, if you're not by the water, you probably want to be indoors because it's going to be quite uncomfortable and dangerous at times, especially if you're doing any outdoor activities such as running. It's already a warm start to the day in the mid-70s, upper 70s in Austin. Lago Vista right now at 76 degrees and lots of upper 70s for the eastern counties also. So it's not only today where we're talking about dangerous heat index values. Tomorrow, Saturday into Sunday, still in triple digits. Then we're talking rain shower chances that will relieve us from the dangerous heat. But it's Memorial Day weekend. So I'm going to break down hour by hour what we can expect in terms of the rain shower chances. I'll give you a hint. Saturday's probably the best day to enjoy the outdoors. But I'll break down the details shortly. Guys, back to you.
All right, Erica, thanks a lot. A huge milestone in sports last night for LeBron James. With that slam dunk, he became the all-time leader for points scored in the playoffs, passing legend Michael Jordan. James had 35 last night against the Celtics. They won Game 5 in the Eastern Conference Finals, clinching a spot in the NBA Finals. It'll be a rematch. They'll take on the Warriors. This will be his 7th straight, LeBron's 7th straight NBA Finals appearance. He'll face Kevin Durant and Golden State in the finals. Of course, you can watch them all right here on KVUE. Remember last year, the Warriors were up 3-1. Everybody thought it was over. Oh, no. LeBron brought the Cavaliers all the way back.
I love it when it's like that. Now, that's a tournament. That's a game.
That's what it's all about. Great analysis by you this morning, Yvonne. Great sports analysis.
Really?
We'll break it down on Facebook Live, too.
Sarcasm is thick in here.
All right, they were popular in the city of Austin before. Now they're coming back.
We're talking about Uber and Lyft. So why are the companies returning now? We'll hope that one of them comes and picks up Brian right now. I hope an Uber. I'm going to call you an Uber.
Somebody get me an Uber.
Get out of here.
Memorial Day weekend is upon us. Lots of you pulling out the grill this weekend, and most of you probably consider yourselves grilling experts. Well, there are some things you might not know about that grill that might just make you sick. Stay with us. All right, welcome back. 6:15 now. Rain or shine, Memorial Day weekend can be a fun weekend for many. 4-day weekend for some, bound to be filled with grilling and maybe some good barbecue.
You love to grill. But with this comes a need to be cautious in how you are preparing your food.
That's right. KVUE's Jay Wallace joins us now to explain some of the steps we all should take when we head out to the grill to get that meat ready, right, Jay?
Yeah, that's right, Brian. Even growing up, I know my dad was always telling me stay away from the grill, always being cautious when I was a kid, and that's really important when you're dealing with the grill, and that goes for kids, adults, anyone who might be outside near the preparation. First, this is important. Really make sure you have a clean griddle. And you can use a nylon brush or aluminum foil to get the job done. If you have a gas grill, check your hoses for any leaks. And with lighting, you will want to leave the lid open when you do. Now, in terms of opening that lid after you have started grilling, you want to burp the grill. I know you've heard of that, Brian. Open the grill slowly, inch by inch. This prevents you from inhaling too much smoke at one time. And wherever you are, make it be where there is good ventilation, where you're grilling to avoid carbon monoxide and that smoke as well. And one more thing, do not char your meat. It might taste good, you get that crisp taste, but exposing yourself to carcinogens has shown legitimate connections to cancer later in life. So, just take caution, be careful, and then you can enjoy your grilling, enjoy the barbecue, So, Brian,
Very good tip.
Anything planned for the weekend?
Well, no, but I have another tip. I have a tip. This is something I've learned recently. If you have a wire brush and you use that to clean your grill,
make sure they don't
take an old towel and then wipe the grill to get all those, because you'll have those little tiny pieces of metal.
Unless you don't like your guests, and then you.
Well, it depends on who you're having over, I guess.
But that's a really good tip too.
Always clean your grill after you brush
tips.
it.
You don't want to be sick.
So we're going to Jay's for the weekend, right?
Yeah, party at Jay's.
Right. Burger at Jay's.
And you're invited. Erica, is the weather going to be good for a pachanga?
toasty, that's for sure. So I hope Jay has a pool, because it's going to be a party where you want to take a dip in the pool. There's a slight breeze out there at least. That's going to give us a little relief from the fact that it's going to be so sticky, so warm, humid out there today. Already in the mid to upper 70s right now. Check out your feel like temperatures, though. They're in the 80s, and a warm up that we're seeing this morning. It's much, much warmer than yesterday. 13 degrees warmer this morning, Austin, than where we were yesterday morning. We were kind of spoiled the last couple of mornings, kind of chilly to start the work week also. But now, expect highs in the 90s this afternoon. 92 by lunchtime, expecting highs in the mid to lower 90s, not only here for Austin, but the majority of the viewing area. Now, you factor in the fact that it's so humid with the temperatures. This is what it's going to feel like outside this afternoon. This is why the forecast is important. We're talking heat index values, which is the temperature it's going to feel like outside in the triple digits for the entire viewing area. Not only today, feel like temperatures in the dangerous side for Saturday. May feel like 106 out there, Austin. And then by Sunday, we'll see a little bit of a cool down with the system approaching. That's going to bring us some rain and relief from the heat, but kind of act as not a washout for your holiday weekend, but we will have a lot more rain shower chances. So mix of sun and clouds until then. But again, Sunday evening is when rain shower chances begin to approach our area. The busiest will be overnight, Sunday overnight into Monday morning, where we could have heavier rain at times. That's where a slight risk is already issued. But I don't think we're going to have much in the form of severe weather, really. The flooding might be an issue. Not major, but we're talking 2 inches by the end of the whole system, by the end of the whole weekend. We could pick up 1 to 2 inches for central Texas, but I really think the Del Rio area, closer to San Antonio, they'll have a little bit more in terms of flooding concerns. Mold is going to stay in the high category because of all of the moisture out there in the atmosphere. You can stay up to date every single day in the Statesman, but the next 7 days, last 2 sunny and warm days, then we're talking rain shower chances all next week as the frontal boundary is going to stall out in our region. Let's take a look at the roads this morning as you're heading out to work. Traffic concerns, not too bad out there. A live look for a few of the roads out there, and hopefully the roads are less congested today. Hopefully you guys are able to relax, stay home, maybe get an extra long weekend out there. We do have one incident that we're monitoring, not a huge accident affecting any highways, but there is an accident currently on Metric Boulevard and Breaker Lane. So at least in between 2 major highways and not really affecting any of the morning commute this morning. But from Buda to downtown, only 15 minutes, 17 from Round Rock to downtown. Guys, back to you.
Erica back on the traffic duty today.
I know. Oh, wait, hold on. She remembered it. We're making a tally for when she remembers. 3 times she remembered, 1 time she forgot.
Pretty good to me.
What do I
Good
get?
odds. I don't know.
We'll decide something
Coffee,
good.
free coffee.
Next week, T-Mobile will be rolling out a new plan for customers.
It will allow families to have different numbers on one phone. ABC's Diane Macedo and Candace Gibson explain how it all works.
In today's Tech Bites, revamping phone numbers.
Starting Wednesday, T-Mobile customers can have more than 1 phone number on their smartphone. The feature called Digits will allow up to 5 phone numbers for a small charge.
It'll also allow customers to have 1 phone number across multiple devices.
Pretty cool.
Well, Amazon's grocery store pickup service is open for business in Seattle. Customers can select from thousands of items and order online or by mobile.
The items are then picked up at kiosks within 15 minutes of ordering. And Facebook CEO and Harvard dropout Mark Zuckerberg offered some tech advice during commencement at his old school. He told grads that some technology is worrying.
But he believes certain technologies, including Facebook, changes lives for the better.
Oh, he did he?
Yeah, another one he said, Instagram changes lives for the better. Same for WhatsApp.
I'm seeing a pattern here. Those are your Tech Bites.
Have a great day.
Time to take a look at your school bell forecast on this Friday. It's going to be a warm one. You're going to want to stay cool, stay hydrated, protect yourself from the sun also today. Highs in the 90s, but factor in the humidity. It's really sticky out there this morning. That's going to continue all after long. So factor in the humidity. It's going to feel like 105 degrees this afternoon. Also keep in mind your UV index on the high side at 9. So try to just limit your outdoors today. It's probably a day, if you're still in school, recess time, maybe inside majority of the time because it's going to be quite dangerous, quite warm. The good news, by this weekend, we'll have a little relief. I'll give you all the details in the full forecast. Back to you guys.
All right. Thanks so much, Erica. 6:26 is your time. Looking for a new family pet, maybe? Well, this weekend, you can bring one home at no cost. Take a look at these adorable little guys. Starting today, all adoption fees are waived until Monday at the Austin Animal Center. Right now, capacity is full at the shelter, so you can help save more lives by taking home a new pup or a kitten. As we approach Memorial Day, many of us may be planning barbecues or, trips. But for Gold Star families who lost a loved one in war, the day is about remembering their sacrifices.
Almost quiver at the thought when someone says, Happy Memorial Day, because I don't think that there's anything happy about death. Maybe Blessed Memorial Day.
That's a very good point. Candy Martin is the president of American Gold Star Mothers. She spoke at USAA's Memorial Day celebration. And her son, First Lieutenant Thomas Martin, a sniper platoon leader, was killed in Iraq in 2007. Martin says Memorial Day is very personal for her family. Terry Meyer's son, specialist Brandon Meyer, was also killed in Iraq.
I'm able to, in a way, put his boots on and try to fulfill the life that he didn't get to fulfill.
Both parents say they remain close to the soldiers who served with their sons, and their memory is what keeps them committed to honoring all of our fallen service members. And highway horror and the end to a family's nightmare. An RV burning in Arlington after a 4-county chase. Remember, we had this for you yesterday on Daybreak. We're going to hear now this morning from the officers who rescued the children involved.
This is KVUE News Daybreak.
Look, it's Brian's favorite place. Welcome back to KVUE News Daybreak. 6:30 is your time. Get those floaties, right?
I do love me a good old water park with a bunch of 4-year-olds in diapers. Take a look at this. Is actually the new Typhoon, Texas. This is a great place in Pflugerville. Season pass holders get a sneak peek at the kickoff party. That's tonight. And then the park opens to the public tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m. You get to slide till your heart's content.
By the way, now you have a protector. You could take off the diaper and you could put some other cloth thing on.
It's not good enough for me.
It's not good enough? Okay.
If I go to a water park and I see a kid running around in a diaper, I go straight to the beach chairs and that call it a day.
Brian's not going to hang out with me and my family, Erica, but you will, right?
I will in 2 years when everybody's out of diapers.
I got you, Yvonne. Brian can be a party pooper.
No pun intended.
No pun intended.
Live look outside this morning here. It's a little breezy out there. South winds from 5 to 10 miles an hour. Dew points are going to be the big story this morning. It's muggy. It's sticky out there. It's uncomfortable. It already feels like it's 80 degrees, even though your temps are still in the 70s. That's going to be the big story. Check out your highs in the 90s this morning, or excuse me, this afternoon. Heat index valley is about 105. So it's going to be a little bit dangerous the next 72 hours in terms of temperatures and humidity. Throw in the fact that we're not used to this now. We're easing our way into the summertime, so this is what it's going to feel like for your Friday. Lunchtime plans out there already feeling like the 90s this afternoon. 104, 105 degree feel like temperatures. So make sure you're staying cool. Make sure you're staying hydrated. The next 72 hours, we're talking triple-digit heat index values. In terms of traffic this morning, let's take a look at the roads for your morning commute if you're possibly heading to work on this Friday. But I think a lot of you guys are able to hang out at home this morning. So for the holiday weekend, not too bad. No accidents, major accidents to report on, at least on the major highways. There is one accident, though, on Metric Boulevard and Breaker Lane, not causing too much issues in that area. But we'll continue to give you updates if any future accidents do pop up. From Buda to downtown this morning, 18 minutes, 19 minutes from Round Rock to downtown. And also, if you're commuting from 45 to downtown, only 14 minutes, under 5 minutes, 22:22 to Cesar Chavez. Guys, back to you.
Erica, thanks. Our top story this morning, a big one. Williamson County authorities and the Texas Rangers have reopened the sexual assault case that led to the conviction of Greg Kelly, a former Leander High School student. And they've identified the new suspect as his former friend. Kelly serving a 25-year prison sentence near Huntsville. He was convicted in 2014 of sexually assaulting a 4-year-old boy in a case that led to an outpouring of support from many in the community who believed he was wrongly accused. The case is now being reopened because the new Williamson County District Attorney says he received credible evidence that someone else possibly sexually assaulted the 4-year-old boy.
Jonathan McCarty is a person of interest in this case. He was arrested yesterday on unrelated drug charges and is in the Williamson County Jail this morning. Court documents show investigators found photos of naked young children on his computer and phone. The documents also allege that McCarty explicitly confessed to the crime while at a party months after Kelly was sentenced to prison. Again, this morning, McCarty has not been arrested or charged in this sexual assault case.
Now, on the day Williamson County authorities announced they were reopening the Greg Kelly sex assault case, Kelly's loved ones let out a huge sigh of relief. KVUE's Christy Millward in the newsroom for us this morning with what Kelly's longtime girlfriend is saying about the news. Christy?
Well, Brian, through the trial, sentencing, even jail, Greg Kelly's girlfriend has stayed by his side. She has new hope now that the case has been reopened. She tells KVUE the past few years have been a long journey, but says the two have been together since 8th grade and she plans to stay by his side. They see each other every other month and write letters to keep in contact. She says Kelly has stayed positive the whole time.
The process has been really long, and I don't know, Greg's been really strong through it and encouraging, and he's really keeping his time busy with learning and training, fitness.
Anderson says she'll return to Texas next week to visit Kelly in Huntsville. Now, a Williamson County judge set a hearing for Kelly the first week of August. At that time, she will decide whether Kelly could be released from prison on bond. Live in the newsroom, Christy Millward, KVUE News.
Well, a woman is recovering in the hospital this morning after an RV chase across North Texas early yesterday morning. We first brought this to you as breaking news. Remember on Daybreak yesterday, the woman texted 911 saying that her boyfriend shot her multiple times with their sons in the vehicle. She then jumped out of the RV. Officers then put down a spike strip to slow the RV down and say the flat tires caused the fire. Police say the man then threw his sons out of the vehicle. One officer then darted over to rescue the terrified boys.
Due to my rifle sling and the high grass and weeds, I tripped. I got back up, picked up the children, and I handed them off.
Police say the man then took his own life. The boys are now at home safe with their relatives.
A police chief in North Texas is on administrative leave after the arrest of a Texas A&M Commerce student. The incident happened last Saturday. Miss Black Texas 2016 Carmen Ponder says she passed a vehicle that was driving erratically just before turning into a parking lot. She says the driver of the vehicle she passed verbally berated her before she walked into a nearby store. When she came out, police were waiting but not in uniform. Ponder claims the driver was the police chief. She says he arrested her after she failed to comply with his orders.
If that was not the police chief, would I have even gone to jail? And the answer is no. And that's wrong, and seems to be abusing the power that you have in a small town.
Ponder faces a misdemeanor charge for evading arrest. Meanwhile, the city there looking for an outside agency to conduct an investigation.
Well, new overnight police in England arrested a man early this morning in connection to Monday's terror attack at an Ariana Grande concert that left 22 people dead. Police say a total of 10 people have been arrested in connection with that investigation, but 2 of those people have been released without being charged. So this morning we are also seeing new images of the man who carried out the suicide bombing, Salman Abedi. Investigators say inside of his home, they found a storehouse of bomb-making chemicals. The Republican candidate in Montana has won a congressional seat despite being charged with assault after an altercation with a reporter the day before the election. The race was put into the national spotlight yesterday after a reporter described being body slammed by that candidate, the GOP candidate, Greg Gianforte. Now, the candidate is now apologizing for his actions.
Last night I made a mistake. And I took an action that I can't take back. And I'm not proud of what happened. I should not have responded in the way that I did. And for that, I'm sorry.
Audio of the incident was recorded by the reporter as he asked Gianforte about health care. He allegedly broke the reporter's glasses and punched him. Gianforte's campaign insists he was just reaching for the phone.
New virus is wiping out crawfish farms in Louisiana, and it could impact your next crawfish boil here in Texas. Texas distributors keeping an eye on this problem. It's called white spot syndrome virus, and although it doesn't change the way crawfish look, it can wipe out populations of medium to large crawfish. Researchers say it's not harmful to people, but if it continues to spread, it could make large crawfish harder to find. Disappointing for us, but devastating for farmers. Researchers do not know how to stop the virus. Once it infects a pond, it could cost a farmer tens of thousands of dollars a week. Time now to get a check of our forecast for this Friday with Erica Lopez. Hi, Erica.
Hello, good morning. Well, the temperatures are going to be the big story for the first half of the holiday weekend, and then we're talking rain shower chances for the second half. But right now, it's a warm start to your day. We're seeing quite the warm up, not only for our viewing area, but for much of Texas. Check out a heat advisory that's in effect south of San Antonio for more southern areas of our viewing area. But it's still going to be a warm one today, even though we're not under a heat advisory. Highs will still be in the 90s. And I think the most dangerous part of the highs in the 90s is the fact that it's humid out there, so it's actually going to feel like we're in the triple digits today. The humidity is going to stick around, so overnight another warm, muggy night tonight as we enter into Saturday. And speaking of Saturday, we're going to increase our heat index forecast by about a degree, 106 forecast for your heat index tomorrow, and then still triple digits for Sunday. We'll finally get some relief as rain shower chances arrive Sunday evening into Monday. Best chances of rain this holiday weekend overnight, Sunday into Monday. Should have pockets of some dry conditions for Sunday, so any outdoor plans Saturday and the first half of Sunday will be the best to enjoy the outdoors. Guys, back to you.
Erica, thank you. Today, a group of men and women will march towards Georgetown to honor those who help protect our country. Carry the Load is a campaign dedicated to honoring our nation's servicemen and women. During the march, each person carries the load of a first responder, a firefighter, or a person on active military duty. A large group stopped by Austin yesterday as part of their nationwide tour. They went through Zilker Park to Round Rock with American flags in tow.
It's a very pure message that it's non-political, it's non-racial, it's non-religious. It's just, hey, let's take a moment and honor those that make our lives a little safer every day.
The tour began almost a month ago in Seattle, ends this Sunday in Dallas. Since 2011, Carry the Load has raised more than $14 million for military members and their families. Speaking of Memorial Day weekend, if you're renting a car this holiday, there's a company you might want to avoid.
The nationwide warning to customers about Payless car rental and the hundreds of complaints coming in.
And it's award season for high school and middle schools, but one Texas teacher in a bit of trouble. The shocking certificate she decided to hand out to one student and the controversy around it.
Good morning, and coming up on GMA, we're gearing up for one of the busiest travel weekends in over a decade. Millions of Americans hitting the road and taking to the skies this morning as severe weather rolls through parts of the country, canceling flights and causing some major delays. We're going to give you everything you need to know if you're planning on traveling this holiday weekend, and you can get that right here, only on GMA.
It's already 6:45. Welcome back, everyone. Here are some of today's top stories.
President Donald Trump's revised travel ban could head to the Supreme Court after a federal appeals court voted not to reinstate it. The Fourth U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals in Virginia ruled 10-3 against the president's executive order, which temporarily restricts travel and blocks new visas for 6 Muslim-majority countries. The court says the order vaguely touched on national security and promoted religious discrimination.
Well, the Texas legislature could finalize the state's budget by this weekend. Yesterday, the House and Senate reached agreement on the budget for the next 2 years at nearly $108 billion. If passed, it would increase funding to Child Protective Services by more than $500 million, adding nearly 600 new caseworkers. Both the House and Senate are expected to hold a final vote tomorrow. Well, a Houston area school bus driver is out of a job this morning for reckless driving. Take a look at your screen. The driver behind the bus captured footage of the incident on Wednesday. He drove past several stop signs and was driving over the speed limit. School district officials reviewed the video. Obviously, they did not like what they saw, so they let the driver go.
Governor Greg Abbott has signed a bill to crack down on teachers who have inappropriate relationships with students, and a practice coined pass the trash. That's when a teacher accused of one of those relationships isn't turned in, but instead resigns once administrators find out and begins working at another school where they do the same thing. Happens more often than you might think. Senate Bill 7 was created to stop this. The bill creates a statewide database to track the offenders and punish administrators who don't report those committing the crime.
Those principals and those superintendents also are going to face stiff consequences because of this law. So I am proud to sign SB 7 to restore the trust that should exist.
Under the law, teachers guilty of improper relationships will automatically be fired, lose their teaching certificates and their pensions. Administrators who don't report the teacher can be fined up to $10,000 or face jail time if they try to cover it up. The law will go into effect September 1st.
A rough way to start the morning. In an effort to avoid traffic, this driver ended up getting, well, more stuck. The driver in Nebraska tried getting around traffic but drove through construction cones and into wet concrete. Oh, see, patience pays, buddy. A sticky situation, to say the least, and now that driver has to pay, $10,000. $10,000 in damages for that mistake.
Jerk.
Oh, man.
Don't do that. Those cones are there for a reason.
Yeah.
Well, he learned his lesson. She learned her lesson.
That's like probably more than the car's worth.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Could be. That's a big mess.
I don't know.
We learned yesterday you don't know much about cars.
Oh, brother.
You were here.
Talk about midday. They talk about horsepower.
Yeah.
I was like,
There was a reason I drove myself. Yesterday.
Oh, boy. That's a different story. Let's talk about temperatures in the forecast today. It's a toasty and humid one out there this morning. It just looks sticky out there. We're taking a live look outside where your temperatures currently are in the upper 70s as we speak. But the big story is the humidity and the dew points that are out there right now in the 70s. So temperatures in the last 24 hours, we've actually warmed up quite a bit. You're going to completely notice it because we were spoiled the last couple of mornings, waking up to temps in the 50s and the 60s, now in the 70s. A 13-degree warm-up this morning for Austin. Hour-by-hour forecast this Friday, we'll have partly sunny skies, so more clouds out there than sunshine. A slight breeze to hopefully make it feel a little bit better out there, but your highs will be in the 90s. 94 is your forecasted high here in Austin today. But factor in the fact that it's so humid with those temperatures. Feel like triple digits all across the viewing area, at least in the triple digits. Austin, you feel like temperatures closer to 105 for your forecasted heat index today. Tomorrow, same story, dangerous heat index values. Triple digits will continue into Sunday. This is where I'm supposed to remind you, eliminate your outdoor activity. If you are outdoors, possibly still want to get that afternoon jog in, just take your time, make sure to hydrate yourself throughout the day because we're not used to the heat. We're easing back in to the summertime conditions, so this is when it just feels really uncomfortable because we're not quite used to it just yet. Now, rain shower chances coming back into the forecast Sunday evening into the overnight hours. Overnight hours is going to be our busiest pocket of rain shower activities here in Austin as a frontal boundary will push through our viewing area. A slight risk for weather is in place, but I really think it's just going to be the heavy rain at times that will be the main issue. Anywhere from 1 to 2 inches is what we can pick up in terms of rain shower activity. Mold in the high category. Here we are. Once we get through the 2 warm days, we'll have lots of rain to cool us off, but affect your outdoor Memorial Weekend plans. Let's talk traffic this morning. Any folks commuting this morning, the good news, the roads aren't looking too bad out there. Live look on some of our tech stock cams. It's 6:49 a.m. and we've only had one accident so far this morning to chat about. That's the one we're keeping an eye on right now, still in effect on Metric Boulevard and Breaker Lane. But again, away from any major highways, so that's definitely some good news. Seeing slower commuting times right now. Buda to downtown, 27 minutes is what you can expect. About 21 minutes from Round Rock to downtown. Not too bad if you're traveling into town there. 45 to downtown, a 15-minute commute in under 5 minutes. 2222 to Cesar Chavez. Guys, back to you.
Erica, thanks a lot. President Donald Trump continues his marathon of meetings with world leaders today on the 5th stop of his overseas trip. He's in Italy today. When he attends his first summit, his Group of 7 summit meeting. The annual meeting convenes the leaders of the United States, France, the UK, Japan, Italy, and Canada to discuss and promote solutions for major world issues. Yesterday, standing before other NATO leaders in Brussels, President Trump's speech called out countries who may not have been meeting defense spending obligations in recent years.
23 of the 28 member nations are still not paying what they should be paying and what they are supposed to be paying for their defense. This is not fair to the people and taxpayers of the United States.
Now, he also told them that the United States spends more on defense than all other countries combined.
Well, something you need to know before renting your next car. This morning, the Better Business Bureau is issuing a nationwide warning to customers about Payless rental cars. The rental company is accused of luring in customers with low rates and then hitting them with additional fees, providing unsafe cars and failing to return deposits. The BBB says it's received over 800 complaints about Payless over the last 3 years. Payless has declined our request for an interview, but the BBB says consumers should research rental firms before renting a car.
Some Houston area teachers getting a failing grade for what they're calling joke certificates. During the school's mock awards ceremony, they handed out a certificate to one 7th grader that read, "Most likely to become a terrorist." The ceremony happened back on Tuesday, of course, the day after the terror attack in Manchester, England. The district, Channelview ISD, says the entire awards ceremony is now under investigation. A number of teachers are being disciplined.
A reminder, if you're headed out to the local lakes this Memorial Day weekend, a personal watercraft ban is now in effect for Lake Austin. Wet bikes, motorized surfboards, and similar crafts are all banned starting tonight and ending on Tuesday, May 30th. Non-motorized devices such as kayaks, canoes, and paddleboards can still be used. Police will be patrolling the lake to enforce the ban. Well, a live look outside this Friday morning, and Erica Lopez joins us next with a final look at your forecast for this Memorial Day remembrance.
Welcome back. Tomorrow marks 20 years since the devastating tornado hit Gerald. 27 people were killed. The F5 tornado was 3/4 of a mile wide at its peak, packing winds up to 318 miles an hour. Destroyed everything in its path. Homes, livestock, families, all gone in just a matter of seconds. Tomorrow at 6:30 right here on KVUE, we've got a special on this tornado. Albert Ramon and Terry Gruca and the staff there did a wonderful job putting this together, and you can catch that with video from that day and video from today. That's tomorrow at 6:30.
2 decades.
It's hard to believe, 20 years
Yeah.
ago. Yeah, 1997.
Yeah.
I know they put in a lot of hard work, so excited to see that.
Really?
From Buda to downtown, if you're commuting this morning, drive times are starting to slow down on 35. Expect a 33-minute commute. Not too bad from Round Rock to downtown this morning, though. And in terms of weather, it's a toasty one. Today, tomorrow, dangerous heat in X Valley's in the triple digits. Rain shower chances start this weekend, Sunday night.
Ooh, if you want to cool down, how about this? This will be fun.